This episode is sponsored by Article. Article believes in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their online-only model, they have some really delightful prices too. Article's team of designers are about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price. They're dedicated to thoughtful craftsmanship that stands the test of time and looks good doing it. Article's knowledgeable customer care team is there when you need them to make sure your experience is smooth and stress-free.
It's really an incredible service because I am one of those people who's just lost on design, what to do, what to put in my house, where to put it. An Article really comes in handy.
And great prices too.
The best.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of 100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/TMZ and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/TMZ for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and today I'm joined by Ed Lewis. How are you, Ed?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Fantastic, man. Thank you for joining us today. We got some good stories for you. Khalifa has just been dropped by Playboy. We'll tell you why. We're going to talk about the hottest Halloween costume of the season, and it involves two very famous people of the moment. But to begin with, let's talk about Jonas and Sophie Turner, because it seems like finally there's a bit of good news in their messy divorce.
Yes, they have figured out an arrangement with the children, which was one of the biggest problems that they had, right, with their divorce.
Yes.
And it's very long and complicated, and it's going to involve both of them getting custody for several days at a time and several weeks at a time. It's complicated, man. Like, this is tough. I really feel for them. We'll kind of go through it, right? So the kids will go with Sophie from October 9th through October 21st. But then on October 21st, Sophie, who lives across the pond, must return the kids back to the U.S., and they'll be with Joe through November 2nd. And then the kids will go back with Sophie until November 22nd. Basically, they just share the kids for the next off and on couple weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I think it looks like Joe gets Thanksgiving. Sophie gets Christmas and New Year's. Well, they're
I know what it is.
1 year old and 3 years old. It's like, oh, it's a great New Year's. So, I mean, this is good news, obviously, that they've struck a deal like this. But have they struck anything more permanent?
It doesn't seem that way, no, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is all just kind of temporary to figure out the holidays and stuff like that. There was a court filing today where one of the lawyers or one of the attorneys in the filing said these mediation process has been ongoing and productive. So it appears that representatives for both are at least somewhat optimistic that this is going to go in a more positive direction than it had previously been going.
Right.
You know, obviously this was super contentious and it was pretty nasty there for a few weeks. And it seems now that they're open to it, right? And, you know, if you're figuring out Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, I mean, that's always like everybody's biggest headaches every year, right? What am I doing? Where am I family going to be? And if you're figuring that out, obviously I think it's an indication that, okay, maybe they are easing their way into making a longer term solution here, right?
Yeah. It's a good sign for sure. I just still think that it is going to be so hard for one of those two parents to say, okay, you can raise the kids in your country and I'll get them for holidays.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that is going to take one of them to say, keep the kids in America or take the kids to UK, because they need to go to school somewhere. You know what I mean? They need to have a home base. So it's not like you can just do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off forever. So that is just going to be a very hard thing to resolve, because if you both want them, I don't know how you can come to any sort of compromise.
How could there's no solution, which
No.
is obviously why this is taking so long and why they're mediating. I mean, we've reported that there was 4 days of intense mediation just to get to here, you know. So
to get this 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off.
yeah, just to get Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
Christmas
You
hashed
should have
out.
taken an hour.
So You're right, though. I mean, how do you decide it? Because obviously you can't be flying back and forth from the UK to New York City every other week or
No,
every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. I mean, you got school and you got classmates, you got friends and family, and
totally.
trying to live a normal life too, right? I mean, even though my parents are huge stars, like maybe I don't necessarily want to be that, and I just want to even be a school kid and play sports and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they will decide it. I think that's why it almost has to come down to a judge or someone who's non-biased to say this is the way it's going to be. And the reason that the judge would decide a certain place is because they think that the kids would be better suited,
Sure.
happier, maybe raised better. But how do you decide that if you've got two fit parents
Right.
who love their kids?
And that's perhaps why this whole mediation. I mean, I would imagine to be some sort of a presentation with attorneys and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
this is why my client is more suited to have the kids, and I just get the vibe it's some sort of PowerPoint presentation. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a Shark Tank pitch.
Yeah, like a pitch. Yes, like this is why I deserve this way. He doesn't, and I could see how that would get nasty, right?
Yes.
Like Joe said this at one time, and Sophie said this at one time, and she's not. Oh man,
Well, yeah. That's why. I mean, if I was them as well, I'd be desperate to keep it out of the court system like that and do these sort of settlement type things, because as part of that pitch, you're not only pitching yourself, but you're doing somewhat of a smear campaign
Yeah.
on the other.
Right.
And I mean, that's what we all want to see. I mean, I want to know what was in the ring cam. I want to know all the deep dark secrets. But obviously, they wouldn't want that out.
Yeah.
And so it's in their best interest to try to figure it out together with the use of both of their lawyers. But as we say, I mean, how do you come to an agreement where the kids are going to have an English accent? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Joe, you're like, I want them over here, like living in America, living with me. But I don't, who knows who's the most suitable parent? Who knows, like, where the kids would be happiest? Even the judge probably doesn't. They're just making their best guess. But someone's going to be left pretty upset.
And can you fathom the resentment that you would have towards your partner or your ex-partner at this point? Like these are my kids, and obviously when they were born, I had this envision for them, and this, and this, and I had this lifestyle with you and them, and now here we are a couple years later. I mean, how old are they? One and three. So it's only been 3 years, and now we're like, oh my God, they might be raising a whole other planet.
Right,
Like,
totally.
And I don't get to say in it. Like the resentment I would have for you as a partner.
You just have to pick the right one. When you know what I mean.
Relationships are so hard, Ty.
Divorces are the hardest thing, especially if the parents of kids are from different countries.
Mhm.
Just that must be the hardest thing ever. So you just got to pick the right one. Have you picked yours yet, Ed?
I mean, I have a girlfriend.
Oh, you do? Nice,
Yeah,
congrats.
but yeah. I mean, everybody has their ups and downs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine it though. I
No.
couldn't imagine getting in a relationship with somebody. It's always so exciting when you get in a relationship. You know what I mean? And then here we are 3 years later, and we're arguing over where my kids are
I
going to
know.
live, let alone like how they're going to raise.
You don't expect that at the time. You get
No.
swept up in the romance and the this and the
Yes.
that.
Yes, and it seems like not to be super jaded here, but it seems like this happens with everybody. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like
lot,
I'm
a
still
lot.
fairly young, you know what I mean? And like it seems like we do this on TMZ every day. Some huge couple, some celebrity couple that we thought was this, stellar superstar couple is like, yeah, we're not that anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, it's not news if someone's still happily married.
Sure,
Imagine that.
sure.
This couple's still happily married. That's not a story.
we do that sometimes though. Sometimes
we?
they're all loved up. I mean, Travis
Oh.
Kelce and Taylor Swift do it. Like
Okay,
they're all
because
happy
that's a
together.
new relationship.
Sure, sure.
Wait till they're a few years in.
I mean, I remember I've written so many stories about Tom Brady and Giselle being lovey-dovey on a boat.
true,
So
true.
we care.
And look how that went.
Exactly, that's my point though.
Yes.
These people like they look so happy and so in love, and it always seems to end. I don't know. But
What a happy note to end this segment on, Ed. Just don't even get married. It's not going to
relationships, man, I
work.
don't know. I just how do they work?
How do they work?
I don't know.
On to our next story. The #1 adult film star in the world, Mia Khalifa, was just fired from Playboy, having posted very pro-Hamas content. And I mean, this was wild what she was posting. The one of her big tweets was that can someone please tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontal? And the owner or the CEO or whatever of Playboy said basically on the spot, tweeted her back, "You're fired." To which she replied, I'd say supporting Palestine has lost me business opportunities, but I'm more angry at myself for not checking whether or not I was entering into business with Zionists.
Yeah, and she released another statement that said she doesn't want to entice or spread violence. She was saying that specifically said freedom fighters because that's what the Palestinian citizens are. So she kind of walked it back a little bit after all this drama. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there've been over 2,000 people have died in this.
It's shocking, but I mean, the fact of the matter is Mia is a massive adult star. She was number one on all of these different sites. She's got 30 million Instagram followers still. This could be good for business, unfortunately for her. Like, you know, if she like does this OnlyFans now, or if she just like, she's obviously got a base of fans that really love her and are following her for ages. She got famous to begin with because she would wear her hijab in different movies. So it was very controversial, but that controversy led to her fame. And this controversy, I mean, unfortunately might lead to more fame for her.
And she's super famous like everywhere, like in the sports world even. It's been years we've been covering her in and out of in the sports world, but I remember athletes are always shooting their shots at her, and that's where she kind of crosses over from wherever you want to call it, the adult film industry to the sports world. But yeah, like she is ultra famous, and so there's a big voice here, and for her to use it in this way or be perceived to be using in this way is
it's gross. It's gross. Okay, on to our final story. The number one Halloween costume of the year is, drumroll please, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Wow.
Shocking.
Could never have guessed that. So yeah, I mean, we did this story at TMZ. We contacted, various Halloween costume manufacturers, see what's selling out. And this Travis and Taylor Halloween costume is sold out and won't be restocked for like another week or so because of there's been so much demand.
The thing is, though, if you're going to do Travis and Taylor, what version of Travis and Taylor do you do? That's kind of the problem I'm having. We talked about my girlfriend. We were thinking about maybe doing Travis and Taylor.
Oh, you were too?
What do you do, though? Do you do the paint splattered denim that Travis wore when she was in her the white tank top and when their first date, basically at the Chiefs game? Do you do the pop star and then Travis Kelce in full getup, like a Travis Kelce jersey? What wins you a costume contest if you're going to be Travis and Taylor?
I think dyeing your hair red, Ed. You got to dye your hair red.
Man, what do I tell people when I come to work?
Yeah, that's perfect.
After Halloween.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, I think if you want it to be instantly recognizable, you wear Travis's uniform.
I think that's.
But also, what's the most recognizable Taylor Swift outfit ever? I mean, something from her eras,
it's got to be that, like what the 22 where she's in the black hat and, and the sunglasses and the shirt.
Because the suit that Travis wore when they first were seen together, that pale blue and white suit, is it denim?
It looked denim, and he had Chucks on and like a little white tee underneath.
That's kind of recognizable, but like in my mind's eye right now, I can't see what Taylor was wearing.
She was in a white tank top and a red windbreaker. It was nothing crazy.
And also, like, sometimes girls like to dress up more fancier than boys on these. She's just in a white tank top. I don't see that happening.
I don't know. That's been kind of the debate. I think everybody wants to be Travis and Taylor, but it's like, what do you do for it? For me personally, I think you have to go Travis in a jersey and then Taylor.
I think is that what you're doing?
No, I'm Travis and Taylor twice. I'm gonna break some news here. I have somebody in here that I'm Travis and Taylor with.
Are you Travis or Taylor?
It's gonna be a surprise.
Taylor.
But back at home, I'll be Travis and Taylor.
Oh, when you want to man up with your girlfriend? When you want to man up with your girlfriend? Oh, I can't wait for Halloween now, Ed. Oh, you're a tall, slim man.
I'm good looking Taylor.
You're gonna be a very good looking. You better shave. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Charles.
And we'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.